coming after me. Y'all favorite came after me. My fans up and them bands up, bring my fam up. The mentality, these niggas be faking. The mentality, these niggas be hating. The mentality.
Alright fam, welcome back to the channel, homies. In the last video we had some great conversations down below. I saw a lot of great points, and then I saw a lot of really bad points, like people just saying Fanny is just unstoppable and stuff like that. So this video is going to be about some easy ways to counter Fanny. Honestly, Fanny, I really don't see the hype around Fanny. Obviously I see the clips of Fanny, but throughout my whole time doing YouTube, I've come across like one good Fanny ever. One really good Fanny at a top tier level. I played against Mythics. I've literally played at every single elo, and I've come across about one good Fanny ever. One uncounterable Fanny, I'd say, and then not even uncounterable, but it's just to the point where you would need too much teamwork, where obviously if you're playing solo, it's hard to have that level of teamwork. That doesn't mean that she's not easy to stop. It just means that most solo players don't have that level of teamwork to stop them. And a lot of people I notice look towards the pros to see what's going on in their in the pro meta, and they think that that's what meta they're in right now. No, when it comes down to playing at the top level, let me explain this to you. When you get to the top level, and I mean the very, very top level, what you have to understand is they're not just choosing heroes to ban and stuff like that based off of the small pool of information we have. When you're trying to ban a hero and stuff at that level, you're looking at the players on the other team. Like all these crazy clips where you got a Fanny just killing everybody, is one of those players on the other team you're going against that good with Fanny. Like even just like you see a lot of the pro players who have some decent clips online playing Fanny, even they don't attempt to play Fanny against certain teams because it's easy to counter when you're not that good with Fanny. Now obviously somebody who's just insane with Fanny can be a little bit more difficult, but there's more than enough stunning heroes in Mobile Legends to have a full team full of stuns. And not to even let's talk about the layers of defense you have against Fanny. So there is, like, even without choosing a hero to counter Fanny, if your team can position, invade, and just take all the purple buffs, Fanny is then completely useless. Like literally, if Fanny can't get to a purple buff, she's useless. She's not going to get fed. She's really not going to be able to help do much of anything. So if you have a team comp that can support you going around stealing the other team's buffs and basically shutting Fanny down before she can even get fed, that's an easy counter right there. Without even having a hero, all you have to do is take the buffs. Like, she's very, very buff dependent, and I think that's her weakness. If you know a hero's kryptonite, go grab the kryptonite. That's all it really takes. Then when it comes down to the heroes, she has hard counters like Diggy, who will trap her so she can't move. You got Zylong, who can just flip her around back into the team, then she gets stunned by someone. You got Hylos with stuns. Hylos can stun her. Like, I literally bully Fanny with Hylos because you stun her, and then Hylos has his second ability that's constantly pulsing out damage. So she's constantly getting hit by damage as well as getting stunned by Hylos. So a good Fanny would still have to bag up off of a Hylos as well. Then you have like Saber. Saber is a hard counter as well. Saber grabs her, then you can stun her as well. And even if we take it a step further away from just the particular hero counters that she has, because she gets countered by a decent amount of heroes, then we can go to the spells. Like, a lot of people use the same spells, and I don't really see the spell that you use to stun people. It's okay for other heroes to use that little spell that you use to stun. Like, I don't know, I use this spell all the time. I can't remember the name of it, but the stun spell, like, it's so easy for a lot of different heroes to use that stun spell. Like, even an assassin can use that and stun. Like, if you notice when we played them 1v1s when I was playing against everybody, I used the stun spell a lot, and it just stunned them in place, shut them down, and they really couldn't do nothing. When we played with Fanny, I even used the stun spell, actually. I used the stun spell when we played against Fanny, when I did that 1v1 with Fanny, and it was very, very effective. Fanny couldn't move. It made it easy for me to get some free attacks. So basically, Fanny can get countered at every level. She can get countered at the level where you just simply take her buff. She can get countered at the hero level. She can get countered at the spell level, and then she can get countered at the team level. So if you have a good team comp where all of you all have stuns, all of you all can stun her, can use your stun spell. If you have that type of team comp where the stun spell makes more sense than any other spell, that in itself, like, really just almost dominates just about any hero. So I don't think that Fanny is as unstoppable as people think. Like, it's like so many ways to counter Fanny, But the thing is, it requires a lot of strategy and teamwork. I feel like when you're a solo player and when you don't play, like when you're a solo player, a lot of times you look up to the team players and you don't realize that when you're a solo player, you have to play differently than a team player would play. Like it's two completely different play styles, Obviously the basics remain the same, but the decision making is completely different. And honestly, decision making wins games. Decision making is all you need to win Mobile Legends. Decision making and positioning, because being good at positioning doesn't really mean much if you don't know how to make the decision of where you should be with your ability to have good positioning. So I think one of the most important things in Mobile Legends overall, and one of the easiest ways to counter Fanny, is with good decision making. And you've been like, if you avoid being in any really closed, tight areas as well, if your team positions in a place where Fanny can't be dominant at, like it's pretty easy to, counter her. Like if your team's positioning well, if you have, like I said, if you have the stun spells, if you take the buffs, like if you know how to invade, like if you know how to do all of these things, there is no reason that any Fanny should be able to just dominate you that easily. So basically, in my opinion, there is honestly no hero in Mobile Legends that cannot be countered. There's just a small amount, there's just not many people actually countering these heroes. So it seems like there's not a counter. A lot of people have never seen it done before. They've never seen this, they've never seen that. And honestly, the reason that you've never seen this is because the skill gap in Mobile Legends is very, very low. Like the skill cap is very, very low in Mobile Legends. If you go to the best pro players in Mobile Legends, put them against the worst pro players in a game like League of Legends, with people who have like a different perspective, who look at the game differently, who don't have the same, because the thing is, the Mobile Legends community is trapped in the Mobile Legends box, so you can't really get a full perspective. You have to be able to push yourself away from that box and really think outside of that box, and it's very hard to do that. Like a lot of the people who are stuck in a certain situation in life, that's all you know. You're trapped in that box, and it's harder to find a solution being in the box than it is looking from the outside of the box. When it comes down to decision making and what heroes are capable of and all of these things, when you're playing at the pro level, all the pros tend to do what each other does. Like they do what each other does. Like if it's not very, because when you think about it, it was a tournament a while ago, like one of the first Mobile Legends events. It was the same thing during that time. Then one team did something that no one expected. They used all non-meta heroes. Nobody was preparing for that. Nobody was training for that. And just that simple decision, they were able to win the event. They won the whole freaking event using a bunch of non-meta heroes simply because no one expected it and they didn't know that the comp worked that well together. Thinking different from everyone else is what makes you stronger from everyone else. Because if you think exactly like everyone else, like you're basically just going to be you're going to always be capped at the skill level that everyone else is capable of. Everyone is practicing to be as good as each other at the exact same thing. No one is actually practicing to be better than the other team and be completely different, like use a completely different strategy, go about Mobile Legends a completely different way. You don't see those outside perspectives a lot. You don't see the outside and the higher level of thinking a lot in the Mobile Legends community. That's just what the Mobile Legends community is lacking. So if the majority of people, even the top players, can't think like this, obviously at the level when it comes down to being under pro level, a lot of people aren't thinking like that either. A lot of people don't know that is this easy to counter. Obviously it's easier to say work as a team to counter Fanny than it actually is to do it. But if you have that team, if you have that communication, if you're gonna have a team that's heavily prepared to invade and take buffs and stuff, that would easily help you win games, but you have to put in a lot of work to get to the level with your team where you can do that. So as solo players, an average Fanny looks like a god. As solo players, it's a lot harder to do certain things, but it's not impossible. And the thing is, if the community would get educated, which it easily could be educated if there was not so much foolishness being spread around. Because the thing about it is, I can make as many videos, like I have made over 800 videos. I probably have the most videos in the Mobile Legends community breaking down things like this and actually teaching people to think outside of the box. And it's going to get the least views of all the bullshit. Like somebody could drop a Fanny clip right now in a Fanny montage with a bunch of Fanny clips and just going crazy, and that would get more views than this video is going to get. And that's why this information of how to stop heroes is not what's spread around the community. The fact that these heroes are unstoppable is what gets spread around the community, because people don't listen to logic. People don't understand logic. People don't even see logic because there's not enough support when it comes down to stuff like this. But that's just my opinion on it. This is just some of my thoughts. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you all have to say in the comment section. For more mobile legends topics and stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop that thumbs up, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, fam. Peace out, Joe.
I'm on it. Can't fail for my family, I want it. So they'll never need hope or want it. A break, just something that I don't get. If I'm only here for the